Social media has been very deliberately designed to keep you scrolling. But in this video, I'm sharing 5 ideas about how to break free of their grip and use them in a way that's healthy and helpful, but without letting them suck tons of potentially productive time out of your day. I'm Natalie Mayer, productivity coach at All in Good Time. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the weekly content to help you increase your productivity by getting more done more easily in less time as you juggle work, family and home, as well as find time for yourself. It's so easy to pop into social media just for a few minutes whilst you wait for the kettle to boil. But then you find yourself still stood there 20 minutes later, long after the water has gone cold. Individually, all those mini breaks on social media throughout the day don't seem significant, but it is scary how easily they can add up across 24 hours. And when you are trying to work on something, if it gets at all boring or challenging or frustrating, there's this temptation to find a displacement activity to allow you to break free from those uncomfortable feelings. And again, you find yourself on social media. An obvious fallout of spending time on social media is that you then have less time to get on with what you really wanted to get done, that really deserved your time and your energy. A less obvious consequence is how a lot of content on social media can affect how our brains work and how we feel about ourselves. Yep, there are so many potential benefits from social media, such as allowing us to connect with people who are going through the same struggles as us, who can empathise and provide real life strategies. But studies are consistently showing the negative impact on our moods from scrolling through carefully curated photos. And these can often leave us feeling somehow less than we should be. And they erode our confidence, which in turn makes us less able to get on and take the actions we need to take. So if you want to balance out feeling connected to the world around you, but being in control with what you do, being in control of the hours in your day, then stick around for 5 ways that I'm going to share to stop you wasting time on social media. First off, turn off your notifications. Now, when people first hear this advice, they can often get a real sense of FOMO, that fear of missing out, that FOMO kicks in. But when you follow the steps that I'm going to be sharing in this video, there is actually less chance of you missing out than if you jump in for every ping that you hear throughout the day. The notifications are there for the benefit of the social media companies, not for your benefit. So there's 2 levels for turning off your notifications that you need to look at. So there's all those pings and those pop-ups. These are the ones that catch your attention when you aren't even in the app. And these should generally be turned off completely so that you don't get disturbed when you're working on a focus task and you aren't tempted to pop in. And the second level of notifications are those that appear in-app. These are the ones that are sitting usually sort of top right with that little round red circle. But do you really need to be notified of every single piece of activity on every single page or person that you follow? For example, there are Facebook groups that I am actively involved in, and I do want to be kept up to date for these. So I do want notifications on so that when I choose to go into Facebook, they're there to let me know things are happening. But there are other Facebook groups that, I like to pop into occasionally just to keep myself in the loop. And I don't need to be notified at all about what's going on in these. And in YouTube, there are some channels that I follow religiously, and I really enjoy watching their content as soon as it's released. So for these, I will hit that notification bell. Others though, I'm happy to catch up with as and when. So whilst I might have subscribed to the channel, I don't hit the notification bell. So after turning off your notifications, the next thing is to create some office hours. That FOMO impulse to keep checking social media will pull at your attention unless it knows that it will have a chance to check in on it all and at some point in the day. So put that part of your mind to rest and create some office hours for when you can and will check in. To begin with, you might be so used to checking in multiple times per hour that even setting office hours 2 hours apart might feel like a big leap. But as you put in place all the steps that I'm sharing in this video, you'll build both your confidence and your desire to make the gaps bigger and bigger over time. Pro tip 1 for this stage is to put a time limit in place for each of these office hour sessions and physically set a timer. This will help you keep focused on what you really need to get out of your time on social media and stop that mindless scroll. And pro tip 2 is to schedule your first check-in to take place only after you have completed at least one significant task off of your own to-do list. And this office hours tip alone will save you time, because rather than nipping in every time a new comment is added and end up repeatedly recapping conversation threads over and over, instead you'll whip through the complete thread in one go. The next step to stop wasting time on social media is to put obstacles in the way. Because when a habit is well established and easy to do, then it is difficult to break, because you can find yourself doing it without even consciously realising it until it's too late. So put some obstacles in your way to make it more difficult to do that. At the very least, remove the apps from your phone's home screen so that you have to scroll through all your apps to find them. This gives you just a few moments to catch yourself in the act and stop it. A level up from that is to log out of the app at the end of your social media office hours so that it really does take effort to mindlessly go back in. Some people even go so far as to uninstall the apps at the end of each day and reinstall them anew the next day. After that, you want to curate your content, review what is filling your feeds. Yep, social media does its best to second guess what you want to see based on your past behaviour. But if you've been giving it misleading signals, there'll be stuff in there that you aren't interested in, just filling up your feed. And it's so easy to click like or double tap your approval and then find your feed full of posts related to those, even though you only had a passing interest in that original post. So when you next go through your feed, be super mindful of what you see. Is it adding something to your day? Or is it taking away time from other things that you would prefer to be doing? And if it's the latter, then unsubscribe or unfollow so that it doesn't continue to take your attention. And this will be an ongoing activity to reflect that both you and the pages that you follow will change over time. No one's even going to know if you unfollow them, but what is left in your feed will be more meaningful and take less time to scroll through before you hit that point where you'd left off at the last office hours session. And then you want how you can create an alternative habit, because nature abhors a vacuum. If you try to eliminate social media without putting something else in its place, you're going to find it a lot harder to resist. So think about, what could you put in its place that would be a more productive use of your time, that would be more motivating and add something positive to your day. So, some examples might include, put the Kindle app on there so that you can catch up on books that you've always wanted to read, or add a podcast app so that you can listen to something inspiring or funny or informative. Maybe a meditation app to help you take some little breaks, an exercise app to help you improve your fitness, a journaling app to improve your writing. Wherever your social media apps had been living on your phone should now be sitting empty after step 3. So let's use that to your advantage. Which of those new apps could you put in the place of those old social media apps, so that when you are tempted, or when that habit just kicks in and draws you back to that old familiar spot, you instead see one of those better alternatives. So there you have 5 ways to stop wasting so much of your time on social media. 1, turn off notifications so that they don't tempt you to get sucked into the scroll. 2, set office hours so that you don't get FOMO whilst you're not in there, and you do keep focused when you are in there. 3, make it difficult so that it interrupts old patterns of behaviour and gives you time to choose differently. 4, curate the content in your feeds so that the time you do spend in social media is making a positive contribution to your day. And 5, create an alternative habit so that you can more easily make constructive use of the time. I'd love it if you shared in the comments which of these suggestions you are already doing and which you think are going to gain you back the most time in your day to get stuff done. If you found this video useful, make sure you hit the like button and let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was. And please do share this video with someone who would find it useful. Also, check out my free productivity resources library, or go and watch the latest Tuesday training workshop. Links for both are in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.